Welcome back. I'm Abby Hagyard. This is my cup of coffee, and we're just going to have a moment. Okay, then. What a good idea that was. So, we begin as we usually do, with me dealing with technology. And here we are, by the way. The thing about technology is that it is how we are accomplishing so many things, and which is wonderful, because how else would I be here with you, right? So I want to say a couple of things before I delve into today's topic. And the first one, of course, is thank you for joining me. And the second one is that I've noticed something. I notice things a lot, but I've noticed something particularly um, concerning recently. And I've talked to several people about it. And it is my concern that we are not excited by the possibility that we can fix things, that we have the capability, that we don't need resources that are beyond us. We can. We actually can. We have the intelligence, we actually have the knowledge. What we don't have is the instructions. And without the instructions, it's frustrating. It's beyond frustrating, because we have this and we have this and we have no idea how to put it. And we can try 2 or 3 times, and then we can say, you know what, I don't have time for this, and then we go on and do something else. When in fact, we need to find time for it. And what concerns me is that in that frustration, we give up on our ability, and we just want it done. We just want the instant gratification. We just want it fixed. We don't want to learn the process so that we can repeat it. And that is the part that worries me, because if you can't repeat what you did, it's an accident. It's random. If you understand it well enough, and you can do it 2 or 3 times, so you get gooder at it, then it's repeatable. And as soon as it's repeatable, it can become a habit that the subconscious brain can manage. And then we grow and we thrive and we get smarter and we get gooder at doing the things we do. So, well, good morning, Charles. How nice to see you. So the first thing I want to talk about, after just saying this is kind of like a little gray cloud floating around, that I'm seeing people giving up. And I get the giving up moment. We've all had it. We've all done it many times. What concerns me is not the giving up. What concerns me is the letting go and giving away our power, our autonomy, our opportunity to be original, our opportunity to spike the ball because we figured it out. Hell yeah. That saddens me, because when we don't have those celebration moments, everything becomes kind of faded and jaded. And that's no fun at all. So that's kind of my here. And I'm concerned for us. I'm concerned for all of us. I'm concerned for me. I'm concerned for you. And I'm concerned for all the people that I bump into and trip over every day. I want the places I walk into to be humming along nicely. It's not that it's all about me. It's that if it's working, then the part that is me is having a better time. Right? Okay, so it is 10:03, so it's not too early. I get to show you that my little later folders, my little pocket later folders have arrived. So this is what they look like. They're very, very simple and plain, but you can see, I don't know if you remember the one I showed you before. I had to hold it this way because the label was too big. So this is this little pocket later folder. It's not necessarily the one you want for all the time, although what's really great about it, where is it here? Look at this. It's the size of a phone, right? There's the phone. There's the phone, right? It's the size of a phone. So if we have a place to put the phone, we have a place for this. Now, I've had a couple of people say, why can't I just use one of the pages in the phone, one of the thingamadoodles in the phone? And the answer is, it's not the same. It doesn't take it out of your head if you can't see it on a page. I know that sounds old school. I know that there are newer ways to record things. I understand that the phone has become our handy pocket computer. I get all that. What I want for you is to feel the ownership of transcribing, of transforming, of transmogrifying your stress into a list of things to do later in your own handwriting. Exactly, Charles. So it's a very simple, there's nothing on it. I didn't spend ridiculous money to make it complicated. It doesn't have dates and times. This is all up to you. There's a thing on the front, date. I made a date thing, and the reason for that is the day you start the book. There's 30 actual pages, which means that there's 60 possible entries. If you don't have that many things that bugged you, and it doesn't really matter how many pages you need to use in a day, and all that you do, this is what I do when I use my later folder. Mine is a little bit bigger, but same deal. So here's what we do. At the top here, we're going to write the date today. And then, so let's say we got up, and let's say we did all the things in the house, and let's say we got ready to go and do something outside the house. So we call the house part the admin, personal admin, right? And in the process of the personal admin, before we get in the car, or before we go for the walk with the dog or the gerbil or whatever, let's just take a moment and write down anything that kind of went sideways, that bugged us, that pissed us off. Let's just write that down, and just in a bullet point, just, a little dot or a little X or something, and just write them down. Just list them. Boop, 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 boop. And then draw a line. Just draw a line underneath it. And then pop it in your pocket and head off. And just get in the habit of keeping it with you the same way you get in the habit of keeping your phone with you. Wherever the phone is, this is, right? That's an easy fix. So you go for your walk, you go for your errands, you go for your whatever, your commute. When you get to where you're going, stop. Before you get out of the vehicle, before you disembark, or if it's a public transit, okay, get off and stand there for a second. And then write down anything that bugged you, that stressed you, that disoriented you during that. And then draw a line under it. And again, it's just point form. You don't have to go into details. If there's always a traffic jam at the corner of Walk and Wait, you just say traffic jam, right? You'll remember what that means. And that way you just keep it very simple. Draw a line under it, pop it back in the pocket, and go and do your next set of things. At the end of that, repeat. Well, good morning, Freddie. How nice to see you. And as you cross underneath each section of your day, what is happening is that you're taking all of the stuff that you were frustrated about, that is keeping you anchored in a stuck, toxic, negative, low, fun place, and you've put it over there. You've put it later. You're going to talk about it later. You don't have to deal with it now. You got other stuff you're doing now. This is for later. So it's gone from my immediate to-do. And the subconscious doesn't feel anxious because you didn't say, be gone, or I'll remember. Because then the subconscious says, I have to remember it for her. She won't remember. No, it's later. Don't worry. I'll be back. I actually pat my book when I close it. I say, I'll be back. I do a really bad imitation of what's his name. I'll be back. And I do it all day. And when I get to the end of the day, after I've done everything, and I'm getting ready for bed, before I write in my journal about how I feel about the day, I take this out and I have a look. And everything that no longer immediately triggers me, that no longer makes me feel clenched, just looking at it, not entering into the conversation about why can't they fix that traffic light sequence at the corner of Walk and Wait. No. Just look at, am I in this moment still upset about it? If not, if it has faded as a result of all the other things that have gone on today, okay. Then what I do is I put a little check mark because it means I've let it go. It means that it is not owning me. I have let it go, right? And so I do that with all of them. Now, if I come across one that still kind of grabs at me, I put a heart beside it because I know that that issue needs some love. I don't do anything about it tonight. I don't do anything about it right now. I just know that it needs some love. And in giving myself permission to love the thing I need to work on, I am also letting go of the anxiousness. Good morning, Susan. Good morning. And by letting go of the anxiousness, I'm back in control. Anxiety is not running the show, right? So I go all the way through, and at the end, I say thank you. And then I close the book, and I put it down. And I pick up my journal, and I write about stuff, whatever it is that occurs to me, what I'm grateful for, what I'm looking forward to. So they are so adorable. They're so cute. They're so small. And I found a distributor so I can get a bunch of them and easily. And so I'm going to be bringing them with me to places. I'm going to have a few always with me so that somebody says, so tell me about this later folder. And I'm going to be able to say, oh, here, it's this. And when I do Fanatic Con in July, I'm going to have a bunch at the booth along with another surprise. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe my other surprise. Actually, it's two surprises. I have two surprises at the booth this year. How exciting is that? Okay, so that's this. Now, the subject I want to talk about today, for all of you, newcomers and old timers, the subject is apparently we had one job, one job, and we're not doing it. I'm going to tell you what the job is, and I'm going to tell you why we're not doing it, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. And I use the fix on everybody all the time. And anyone who has ever had a conversation with me knows it. The minute I say it, everybody's going to go, oh, yeah. And I continue to use it because it works. All right. The one job we had, the one job we always have, is to take care of, honor, cherish, look after the one person who is always there for us, has never abandoned us, who was in fact our very first birthday present. And this person is us. This is the one job. The one job is to honor, cherish, recognize, serve, keep safe, and enjoy this person we are. We're born. This is us. Everywhere we go, there we are. We never abandon us. We never leave us. We never let us down. We're always there. And you know what we do? We chase after and we cling to all the other stuff. He makes me happy. No, he doesn't. We picked him to make us happy. We made us happy. That's simply the mechanism. It's not them who makes us happy. It's not that makes us happy. It's us. We do. We go get it. Are we pleased? Yes. Do we sometimes open the box and go, oh God, what the hell is that? Okay, then all that happened was we got it wrong. We'll make us happy a different way. We can laugh at this. But we are the only job we have. And I know you're saying, well, I have kids. You don't understand it. Abby, you don't have kids. Yes, I do. I had 102 of them. I didn't have to feed them, but I had 102 of them. Don't talk to me about kids. I know that I didn't give birth to them. I get that. I get the 9-month thing. I get that you have no idea what I'm talking. I do. I have a vast idea of what you are talking about. And I'm telling you that if you say the kids are the most important thing to me, you are lying to yourself with a straight face. Because if you're not here, if something happens to you, that's it. We're it. Period. End of video. Thanks. See you next Tuesday. Simple win. You're wrong. There. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because people are chasing. They're chasing things they think they can see in the future, and they're clinging to things they think they had in the past. And many of us are going through at various stages in a life where we grieve the loss of things and people and moments and experiences and habits and treasures. There was a notice on social media on Facebook today. A fellow in Ottawa said, such and such shopping center is closing. And one of the many comments, because it's one of the older places in Ottawa, in terms of the shopping mall experience. And one of the comments was from another person in the meeting who said, "Oh my God, that makes me so mad, so sad. I used to go there all the time in 1999. Okay. So you're not sad about the shopping center. Because if you were sad about the shopping center, you'd have kept going. If you haven't been back since 1999 and you're surprised that it's closed, hello. No, what you're sad about is suddenly you remember great things that happened to you in 1999. And that's, a minute ago. And actually, when you start going, wait, oh my God. And then you start grieving all the other stuff that hasn't happened since 1492. Okay, it's not about the mall, is it? It's not about what are you going to do with this store and what are you going to do with that? No, what are they putting up content? Oh my God. It's not about that, is it? The notice that the mall is going to become something else in the evolution of time is about you. It's about me. It's about how me feels about that. It always comes back to us. How we get it wrong is by forgetting that. I had a conversation in the lobby a few days ago with a gentleman who was very upset about something. Didn't matter what it was. He just had a litany now of once he opened the Pandora's box of upset about everything in general because it's unfair. And I remember when I was a boy, then it just was an avalanche. And the thing he focused on was the fact that people were moving out. It being the first of the month. And he's been here for 10 years. So 10 years times the first of 12 months should be a moment that he would maybe put on his calendar and stay home or take the stairs or something. Oh, no. Well, I mean, they can't keep all of them busy. And in the middle of him, the elevator closest to him went bing and the door's open. And I said, "Oh, look, there's your elevator." And he said, "That's not my point." And I said, "No, I grant you that. However, it is your elevator." So he went, right. And then he realized the door was going to close and he ran off. The manager said, "How do you do that?" I said, years of practice. So if we forget that it is through our eyes that we see the world. Good morning, Kelly. if it is through our eyes that we see the world, if it is through our ears that we hear the world, if it is through our physical senses, our other physical senses, taste and touch and all of that stuff, sensory everything's our tools that we perceive and receive and respond to the world. How is it not all about us? We are the filter through which all things come to the working parts that analyze and categorize and jeopardize. It our best gift, our first best gift to us at birth or before, whatever you believe, our first best gift is us. Then why aren't we looking after us? Why aren't we celebrating us? Why are we telling ourselves that a piece of toxic crap is a treat and eat junk food and make ourselves sick? Study done in Japan, they have the largest percentage of the population that eats healthy food. And so somebody from America said, how did you do that? And the researcher, the person they were talking to, said, well, don't you teach your children that good food is a gift, is a blessing? You know, and the American or whoever it was said, oh yeah, no, we take them to McDonald's. We take them to a fast food place. And so we're eating stuff that we don't look at what's on the back of the box or the container. We're if we want crunch because it feeds our primitive predator, okay, there's celery, there's carrots, there's radishes, there's all kinds of cucumbers, there's stuff, there's really overcooked meat. There's stuff. We don't have to eat fake, broken, nasty things covered in orange dust. It gets all over everything. It's filled with nitrates. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Because somebody told us it was a treat. Somebody told us it was special. You can have candy afterwards. Okay, why can't I have candy now? Why can't I have a coffee now? Why can't I do this now? Oh, well, that's not the way it's done. Okay, who's telling us this? The person we listen to who trained us. Okay, it's still not about us. It's still, I have a dear, sweet, wonderful friend who, when he was learning how to be a rock star, and he was in a band and they were all getting together, then they would take a break and they would go, the other guys would go to a fast food place to get burgers and fries and stuff. He would just zip home and make something because he wanted to bulk up in a healthy way. He wanted to have strength. And so he ate healthy food. And it was his choice. And he said, I'll meet you back in, 20 minutes. And he would, at night or whatever, he would make enough and, prepackage them. And then he could just fling it in the microwave or something and eat it quickly. But he picked things he liked the taste of that he knew were good for him. That was his choice. That was his thing. We're not all going to do that. We're not all as magical as he is. The point is, we had one job. We have one job. We have one person who gives us access to everything. One person, one only, one. You'd think we'd maybe treat it special. No? Good morning. Good morning. You'd think we would say, attaboy, and give us a genuine treat. Okay, Abby, what's a genuine treat if it isn't candy and if it isn't cheese doodles? And I suppose it isn't margaritas either. I said, sure, it can be a margarita. It can be a cheese doodle. It can be whatever you want. Just don't call that a treat. That's not healthy food. If you want to reward yourself, do something. And I don't mean Brussels sprouts and liver. I don't mean that. I mean, do something that's great. If you want to reward yourself, get a massage. If you want to reward yourself, stand outside. Take your shoes off, not on the pavement. Take your shoes off. First of all, check to see that there's no broken things in the ground. Take your shoes off. Stand there. Park the car On your way from here to there, write down, on my way later, get out and just stand in the sunshine for a minute. Watch the cars go by, watch the river. Look at the leaves in the trees. Just stand there. 30 seconds. Do the 5-finger breathing 30-second thing while you're standing there. There's a treat. There's a treat. There's a hug. Do the thing that makes this human gift happy. Don't get on a tech device and try to have a relationship with a program. Have a relationship with the most important person in their life. 30 seconds. In fact, you know what you can do? Every time you stop and you fill this in, when you're done and you've drawn the line, that's when you give yourself the 30 seconds. Genius. Thank you. How about that? You don't have to find the time. Do it. You still need to give yourself a blink moment. You know these things I talk about back in the day, back in the midst of time when people drove standard transmission cars. I saw something the other day that said theft proof. Yeah, standard transmission. Somebody gets in the car. Shit, I can't get it out of park. If we know that you go like this, in order to leap from this side of the river to that side of the river, in order to shift from this focus, thought, this action, this attention to the next one, you must bridge the gap. In a car and a standard, you have to go through neutral to get out of one gear and into the next. Otherwise, the gear teeth go and it costs a lot of money. When you're trying to shift gears from multitasking, you cannot simply do it because I will it. You have to get out of this thought and into this thought, and it requires a bridge. And the bridge takes a minimum of 15 minutes to get your full focus back. It takes a blink to go there, but you're not fully present because you haven't let go of this. And we think we can do it. We're wrong. And it's proved wrong over and over again. So instead of trying to force it, because I want it to be that way, instead of trying to force it, why not say, you know what? I deserve a minute. I deserve 30 seconds, absolutely. I'm going to give myself a minute. 60 seconds. Give me a minute. And put them on hold. And don't scroll. Just stop. Close your eyes. Breathe. Do that. And then come back. What does that do? It honors us. It gives us a fresh breath. It gives us a reset. It allows us to pivot. It allows us to decide how we want to think and feel and where we want to go before we shift all of our energies into drive. So the reason we get it wrong, crazy as it seems, the reason we are not happy, the reason we feel anxious, the reason we are exhausted and upset and overwhelmed is because we have told ourselves, schooled ourselves to believe that our happiness, our peace of mind, our serenity is found someplace else. And it's not true. It's here. It's in here. We are the absolute gift to us. We're it. And we forget that. We forget that because when we're physically helpless infants, somebody else looks after us. Why do they look after us? If the most important person in life is them to them, why are they looking after us? Because they brought us in. They love what they did. They love the proof of the magic and the wonder and their love. And they want to celebrate. How do they celebrate what happened with them? By celebrating us, by teaching us, by nurturing us. We are so proud when our little ones achieve things. Why? Because they're part of us. We made them. You know, the press says, I carried you for 9 months, and before that, there was a moment. Okay. We are the vehicle. We are the conduit. We are the tunnel. And here you are. And I'm so proud of everything you do because I am part of your journey. Your journey began with me. And when they guide us and when they advise us and they help us or they hinder us or they give us the wrong instructions, they mean well. They mean well because they love us. That doesn't mean that our happiness is making them happy. That's not how it works. How it works is this, and this is the trick to realize. Our happiness is making us happy. Whatever it is that we do that makes us happy has a ripple effect that rocks everyone else's boat. If we are happy, the person who gave birth to us is over the moon because their happiness is seeing that what they did is working, is happy, is growing, is thriving. They get to say. We aren't happy because we made a lot of sales in business today. We are happy because our passion and our purpose and our commitment is changing things. We are happy because our processes fulfill our dreams. When we lose someone, and this is very important, and it's a huge part of the work that I'm doing with Pivotry, the work that Susan is doing with her clients, is grief hits us like a freight train. When we lose something that has been an intrinsic and integral part of our lives, we don't have the tools. We don't know what to do. We feel lost. We feel broken. We feel unable and unwilling and uninterested in carrying on. And yet we do, and we have to. And even that is an insult. It's an assault. If I love them and they left, I should by all rights leave with them. I have nothing left. We say those things to ourselves. They're not true. We are clinging to something that is not true. What is true is the love. What is true is the connection. What is true is the bond, is the reflection of all the memories of happiness and love that infuse every inch and ounce of all of our feelings and all of our sensations. And in many ways, so much of what is taught to us, shared with us, impacts the way we think, the way we reason, cause and effect. A lot of the people and the habits that we have with those people we love form part of our mechanism. One of the biggest grief moments and grief journeys that I have to help people navigate is when they lose their job. Losing your job is one of the 5 stressors, the 5 trauma stressors in life. There are 5. And losing your job is losing your identity. If you have for 30 years said your name followed by what you do, if your sense of presence in the world and justification and the cause of all the things that you have is anchored in that job and you're downsized, or you're like in the military, poof, poof, poof. How can you have the faintest idea who you are if they keep taking that away from you? That grief echoes and resonates down through all the many layers of who you are. How can you feel like a competent mom or dad or sibling or child or friend if a huge part of you says, I don't know who I am? What can you bring to any relationship if you don't know who you are? Who are you bringing? I call this executive grief, because it's the foundation of all the executive function, cause and effect thinking we do, that turns into executive dysfunction when we're traumatized. We can't put things together. The executive grief is the clinging to an incorrect belief. It's incorrect. And I have to find the path, find the way to get people to see that what they are clinging to, what they're hanging on to, what they believe to be true is not true. And when I want them to be willing, find the willingness to let go of something else after it feels like everything has been taken away, they clutch it even harder, even firmer, because it's all I have, they say. And I say, okay, give me the answer to 3 questions. Let's calm this down. Let's do the 30-second breathing. No one is taking anything from you. In fact, I'm going to give you something back. Give me the 30 seconds. Give me the 30 seconds to do the breathing. And then I want you to answer me 3 questions. These are my corporate CEO clients, my decision makers, my first responders, my teachers, my guides, my instructors, the people who have a life, have loved ones, and then have a thing they do that has many people depending on them through that thing they do, that job, that function, that role. And they say, okay, so we do the 30 seconds. And I say, okay, ready? I'm not going to challenge any of your beliefs. All right? You ready? Yes, breathe. Okay. Okay. Tell me who is sitting with me. Whether it's virtual, on the phone, whatever. I say, tell me who is sitting with me. What do you mean? Simple question. Tell me who is sitting with me. I am. Okay. You have your notebook? Yes. Write that down. Write that down. I am sitting with Abby. Okay. They write it down. I say, tell me why you're angry with me. Because you're challenging what I believe. Write that down. Write that down. You're angry. I'm challenging what you believe. Okay. What would make you feel better if everything was the way it was? And I say, okay, write that down. Now tell me, read those 3 back to me. I am sitting with Abby. I'm angry because she's challenging my beliefs. I'd be happy if everything was the way it was. Okay. How far back do you want to go to the way it was? What do you mean? I said, simple question. Do you want to go back to when you were 5? No. Okay. Do you want to go back to your vacation? No. Do you want to go back to your wedding? No. Then what do you want to go back to? Well, I want to go back to before I lost my job. I said, oh, so write that down. Before I lost my job. They wrote it down. I said, okay, read now the 4 things to me. So they read the 4 things to me. And I said, do you see that there is one element that is constant in every single one of those replies that you gave to me? No. Okay, I'm going to tell you what is constant in those 4 replies. In every single one of them, you said, I am. Every single one of them, I am. So you are. You are. You are. Nothing has changed that. You are the person with you. You are who you are. You are your happiness and your peace of mind and your serenity. It lives in you. You are. It's the name of a book. I love it. I love it. And I love the resonance of it. When I say it, it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with faith. I say to people, you are the last place God made for you. You are. You are the first, best, last essence of you. Are you missing? No. Okay, then what broke, we can fix. What was lost can be replaced. What ended, we can begin again. As long as you are here and you are ready. The one thing we need to do is give you permission to shift your mindset, to wake up. And so far, that process has worked with every person I talk to, because it's a reset, because it's true, and because it's an element of surprise that they didn't see coming. There is a fancy term for that hack that I use that I'm going to share with you. The fancy term is disruptive cognition. Yes, thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank the little people. So, the hell is that? So, small sip of coffee before it's cold. Disruptive cognition is a shock to the process, to the system, to the steps, to the assumptions. It is one of my favorite images when I say you see a person going by you on a bicycle, one of those crazy mountain bike racers, right? They're going by pedaling so fast you can't see their feet. If you had a fairly long stick and you just casually, without waving or warning them, reached out your hand with the stick and stuck it in the spokes of the front or back wheel, 2 things would happen simultaneously. So it doesn't matter which one I say first, because literally simultaneously. So one of them is that the bike stops. Now, there isn't a gradual slowing down and a screeching of anything. No, you do this, and it stops. And in the exact same moment that it stops, the person's brain experiences the utmost damned astonishment. And I'm quite fond of saying that Vikings invented the utmost damned astonishment, because it's not enough to distract people. What you need to do is suspend their ability to process. If you suspend their ability to process for a fleeting second, just a boop on the radar, you have ultimate power. You only have it for that long. You have it though. And what you insert after that shifts the direction of everything that was happening in their lives. What you do, what you put in after you trigger the utmost damned astonishment, stop the bike. And the thing is, and the reason they're surprised, here's why they're surprised. They didn't see it coming. They didn't see it coming. And therefore they weren't prepared. They weren't, okay, anything could happen. There could be a bear, possibly a deer. There could be an oven. But they do not expect somebody random by the side of the road twirling a stick to suddenly go, and so they got nothing. I use that technique all the time. I don't use it with sticks. I don't use it with socks filled with wet sand. I use it with humor. I use it with non sequiturs. Somebody says this, I say that, and they go, bleh, and they can't process it. The fellow who said, that's not my point. Ah, but it is your elevator. Guy had nothing, so he got on the elevator. I owned that moment. I took that moment away from him, and in its absence, there was nothing in his brain to replace it with. And I put it back, and he got on the elevator. And I've done that probably as long as I have figured out that it gives me an advantage in terms of profiling and inserting myself in a situation sooner rather than later. And that is a direct outcome of my military childhood. I have always felt that if I could cut to the chase sooner than everybody else, I would have a better chance of creating a space for me in something that is fully evolved and forming and moving and operating. I'm the new kid on the block. They've been doing perfectly well without me. How do I make myself essential? Well, I freeze everybody for a second, then I go and stand in an empty spot. When they unfreeze, there I am. Hi. And where'd you come from? And then I get in step. So that has been my coping mechanism. What is bigger than that, and what is more important than that, and I'm not advocating that you have to become a stand-up comedian or a wit. What I'm advocating for is that you look for the missing piece in things, the missing piece that makes no sense that we gloss over. Oh yeah, well, that's always been like that. Why? Why has it been like that? Doesn't anybody want to know why it's been like that? Who has time for that kind of thing? Well, we all have time for that kind of thing. We just use it on other things, really. People don't feel that they're in control. People don't feel that their time is their own. People don't feel that the agenda is theirs to own. They feel that when they take a job and they agree to the rules of the job, they give up their freedom. It's not true. It's not true. You have to be here at 9 o'clock. Okay, well, that's just a timing thing. What if I don't want to be in at 9 o'clock? Well, then it's the wrong job. I took a job doing morning drive radio. I lasted for almost a year. And the trigger that caused me to leave the job was a really unpleasant person that I had to work with every day early in the morning. And I'm not an early morning person. And this individual was deliberately objectionable. And I tolerated it. First, most of the year was amazing. I had this amazing partner. We had a great time. It was fabulous. And then, as often happens in the world of radio, competing stations said, well, their ratings are really high because they're a great team. Let's hire that guy away. He's great. And let's watch her scramble to find a new partner, and their ratings will drop while ours will. I mean, that's the way it works in radio. So who they replaced the wonderful guy with was somebody who was arguably and arguable and annoying and insulting. And I put up with him for a while. And then one day I'd had enough. It wasn't that he said anything particularly bigger or worse It was just that I was full. And when I indicated my disapproval by walking off the show on air, he was flummoxed for a few seconds. Guy had to play something because he didn't see that coming. He didn't see that if you're objectionable enough, long enough to somebody like me, you maybe want to watch the sides and the back. I'm not going to attack him, but I am going to cause the utmost damned astonishment. And the station manager, you'll never work in radio again. Well, if it's at 4 o'clock in the morning, gee, that's a shame. So we don't feel that we have control. We do. We have control of the most important person in our lives, us. If we need a job, we need a job. We must have a job. We've run out of options. We must have work. Many of us feel like victims, and we behave like victims. We behave angry. We behave hurt. We are exhausted. We are low energy. We cannot find the strength to be positive. Understandable. That's because we spent a lifetime of not cherishing us. If we're not cherishing us, we are emotionally exhausted and mentally exhausted, and we can't come up with fresh ideas. So we reek of loss and unhappiness. Who wants to hire that? We reek of brokenness. Who wants more of that? Nobody. I don't understand. I don't understand why the neighbor's so mean to me. Move. I shouldn't have to move. You're in charge. What's so special about the house? We've always lived here. Okay, so what happens if you get in the car and you go to the store, and when you come back, lightning bolt hit the house and it burned to the ground? You're not going to always live there now. Move. Take the most important person with you. You want to make sure that you have the special things that you treasure. Fine, put them in something safe, so you can always go get them. They don't make you happy. You make you happy. Those are one of your mementos. I lost my loved one. I lost somebody. I lost somebody. The losing process, the closing of that chapter, was grueling. He's gone in that form. I don't live there anymore. Have I brought the essentials of that with me? Yes. How? Am I still me? Yes. Did I give away the essential me to be in that relationship? No. How can you be in a relationship if you don't bring you to it? Oh, I never think about myself. I think about the kids. How the hell can you just think about the kids? You have to think to put your pants on, to get in the car, to go to get the food for the kids, don't you? We are the only most first important person. Period. Argue with me all you like. Come up with some reason not. Essentially, at some point in the argument with me, you're going to say, listen, and you just prove your argument wrong. Because who do you think is talking to me? You are. How are you talking to me? Your brain is giving you the things to say, and you are saying them to me. And we need to remember to be grateful that we have us, that we are us. We are the first person we ever meet. We never leave us. We are always here for us. The least we can do is thank us and cherish us and show gratitude to us and build us up. It's the least we can do. right? It's the only job we have. That's it. All the others are the next thing we do. Getting down to the basics, yes. The most important person in the world. Yes, the most important person. Because who else is there? So now I want to show you an example of disruptive cognition. I did it for myself. I had been waiting to do it for myself. And then I realized it was time to do it for myself because I did not have a tangible hands-on example anymore. I had left it behind when I moved. I had said to myself, thank you. I will find someone new. I will find something new that will give me the joy that you did. And so there he is. I didn't realize. I didn't realize when I ordered him. I mean, I know perfectly well how big 24 inches is. It's this, this is I know what 24 inches is, right? So, um, that's 24 this way. It's 24 this way, and it's 24 this way. So I have this bed, and I have pillows, and I have him. And the reason I got him, and the reason I don't normally have him in the office, is because why did I choose a German Shepherd? Why did I choose a German Shepherd? Wasn't personally, yes. Why did I choose a German Shepherd? I didn't actually choose a German Shepherd. What I chose was that face and those colors. And then I realized it was a German Shepherd. And the Spitz. So a German Shepherd is the Spitz breed, and I had a Samoyed, and she was arguably the most adorable looking breathing creature I've ever seen in my entire life, and she knew it. Tail. It's fabulous. In the dog world, she was an actress. How could I not get that dog? So choose a German Shepherd. Fortunately, he's fluent in all languages. And oh, by the way, not for nothing. Right? Hang on a second here. Not for nothing. It's really good. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, there we go. No, hang on. There we go. You see it? You see it? Oh dear. There you go. I should look up the region spiritually we connect to an animal breed. They come in different sizes, Susan. It's just that I didn't realize. Anyway, they come in all sizes. So I chose something with an expression that bypasses everything I am focusing on in the immediate moment. Human beings. What is the verb? We humanize what we see. We think we see eyes. We think we see a smile, and therefore we humanize it and we make it alive. We make it something that connects to us. I don't care how it works. That thing makes me smile all over my body, And so I chose that not because I need an elevation. What I want, what I wanted, what I have is an automatic trigger mechanism when I'm distracted and I need to be brought back on point. All I have to do is walk by the bedroom or go to the bathroom or whatever, and there it is. Bink, and I'm smiling. And whatever I was thinking and doing and feeling a split second before, it's the disruptive cognition, and now I am filled again with the joy that decision means to me. I have given the most important person in my life the hug on every levels that this person deserves. And so every next thing I do, every next decision I make, every next step I take is re-infused with that essence that keeps me moving forward no matter what, that gives me the power um, of actually it things huge. You need one of those. Oh, there's a sage green one I haven't mentioned to you, Susan. It doesn't have anything to do with Virgos, that dog. It does have everything to do with a lot of the whole Viking thing, though. There's a Viking hound. So what is powerful is our ability to reconnect the essential things that we have dropped. We can only hold so many things. And what is powerful is our ability to reconnect. The reason that the dog, the squishy works, the expression works, is that it takes me from one emotion to another one. It takes me to a different kind of energy in a split second, which is, by the way, how it happens in the subconscious brain. What it also does in the disruptive, so cognition is thinking, right? So disruptive cognition is thinking one way and all of a sudden another. And when you are driving the car on the highway and there's no traffic, and so your subconscious can manage the simple autopilot repeatable motions of operating the vehicle. If an animal jumps out of the trees, if there's a bump in the pavement, if something happens that is not part of the autopilot series of option A, B, C, the subconscious brain instantly hands all of the tools and the power back to the thinking brain, to the cognitive brain. And the cognitive brain, which was busy deciding to have pork chops for supper, says, shit, because it wasn't even present. It was planning supper. And now there's a deer in the highway. There's something coming at us, or something that has just happened. And we have to think fast to respond. Meanwhile, the subconscious brain is on full high alert, panic, 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 and the adrenaline is going. I don't need to go through the fear phase. I don't need to go through the high adrenaline phase. I need to have myself sticking the spokes back on target. And my target is positivity. My target is leaning in with intention and purpose and joy, as opposed to resentment and depression and sorrow. I choose to cherish rather than cling. I choose to cherish rather than chase. To keep myself in the cherish space, I need to stay present. My assistant is doing a fabulous job of helping me achieve that. And we can all do that. We don't all need a 24 by 24 by 24 squishy. We can use whatever we use. Some people it's a fishing rod. Some people it's, I don't know what it is, a remote, whatever. All that it takes is a thing that we know that will automatically trigger us, set us back to the place where we are the most able to do two things: cherish the most important person and do the thing, whatever the thing is. So in my role, in my function as a navigator and an interpreter and a guide for people who start someplace and hope they get someplace, um, yeah, Susan is just saying that many years ago when she was recovering from her life disaster, the person she went to see on a regular basis had things like that, because it is such a tactile and soft and welcoming sensation, and it triggers all of the feelings. I mean, if it was as charming and cuddly as a cactus, it wouldn't be as effective. So the reason I share these things, the reason I share the steps in my life, the reason I'm walking us through this together with me, is because I am building a project and a platform designed to give people that moment of what if, that moment of, oh, does it come in turquoise? Does it come in sage green? Does it come in blue? Does it come in yellow? Because if they're asking what color, they've already decided. The reason I'm doing it is purely selfish. There are so many people facing the wrong way. So many people upset, lost, happy, unhappy, scared, broken, exhausted, because they can't find their way. They can't find their way, and they don't know why. First of all, they're carrying so much baggage, they can barely lift themselves. Secondly, they're focusing on the wrong outcome. Our happiness is not dependent on those things. My happiness is not dependent on the shoes. The shoes are adorable. They're ridiculous. They're like flamingos. The reason I love flamingos, I don't collect them. Please don't find me flamingos. The reason I love flamingos is because, well, let's talk about camouflage. Do you realize that in the wild world, the only time a flamingo is safely and securely camouflaged is if they're standing next to pink foam insulation? Like they just have to rely on the fact that a lot of other animals are colorblind. That's it. That's all they got. And then the way they walk, they're completely. And the collective word for flamingos, like there's a group of crows is called a murder of crows, there's a pack of this and there's a flock of that. Yeah. So flamingos, it's a flamboyance of flamingos, darling. Those things revert me back to the reset button that says all things are possible and I'm here. Let's do it. So I do that for me. And I do it for anyone who is ready and sees the value in having a navigator guide them through it. Because the more of you that I can elevate and help and empower, the happier my life is, because I don't have to keep swimming through toxic water. And we all get to live better lives. And the people that I see, the people that I care about, the people who are doing their best and it's not working, and the reason it's not working is they're facing the wrong way. I don't own them. I can't force them to turn around. All I can do is surprise the living daylights out of them. cause them the utmost damned astonishment. And if the next thing I say or do touches the right nerve, they will come around. They will experience Pivotry in motion before they even know it. That's the plan. So, interesting talk today. I'm gonna get some squishies from it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Susan, don't do that. No. We will talk. Don't do that. So, So, what I want to say in wrapping this up today is that I don't have anything at this moment bigger than and more turquoise than that. I do, however, have something pretty incredible to share on Thursday, and I can't wait. So between now and then, I want you to do that thing I always ask you to do, which is to be good to you because you deserve it. And then I urge you to hug your loved ones because they deserve it too. This would not be possible without you. I thank you for taking the time and having fun with it with me and coming through the learning curve with me. And I will catch you next time.